Did you say if you had any favorite tracks yourself?
This was a really good album. There are no tracks that I really can say I don't like or can't tolerate. I don't know if there's anyone that does particularly better than others, and I can't really say, because one of the nice features about my station is you can actually vote on tracks. And right now we don't have the top 25 going. Hopefully I'll get that back up soon. But I've seen every track in the station rated very highly at one point or another. So I don't usually get too many complaints about this album. So, they all have a different charm. That's one thing I like. They all sound... None of them really feel like duplicates of each other so much.
Yeah, definitely not.
Other than maybe
they're all really, strong, some strong emotion.
Yeah.
It's really epic. The sense of adventure and emotion and
actually,
villainy.
Maybe nowadays it's not so much the case with some of the new soundtracks, but this one really did get you pumped to play Pokemon.
I was into it.
And we weren't that young when this came out.
Nah. But that's what I was remembering, when Vinny came back and he bought this the day it came out, and I was he's really into a lot of techno music, and
he's actually a DJ.
He's a DJ, right? And it's he's listening to this, this is really good mainstream potential music,
Yeah, it's well
Except
produced.
For that dance mix, I stand by.
Yeah, one problem with children's music is that oftentimes it's not very well produced, whereas this was very well done from a technical standpoint. You can really tell they put resources and effort into it. If you listen to it closely, you can see that they did a lot of layering of the various tracks, and they really put it together very well. I'm not sure how long it took them to record all the songs.
Hey, do you know anything about the process? Do they just say to people, hey, we're making a Pokemon album, we want you to make a song about this girl, or
it depends on the album. For some of the albums, the songs were specifically written for Pokemon. This one, almost all the songs, if not all, maybe a few of them, maybe My Best Friends and Together Forever, were stock songs that were reworked. But they were all, when they were recorded, were intended for a Pokemon context. You compare that to, for example, the first movie, which is pretty much on the opposite end of the spectrum. Only about three or four of those songs have any direct connection to the movie. But as far as this one goes, yeah, these are all... I'm not sure, how many... When they were all written in what order and whatnot, and how much time was spent on each. I don't have that kind of information, unfortunately. I'd love to meet John Leffler sometime and do an interview with him. I think he could answer a lot of those questions.
I'm always impressed by how much you do know. I always ask you these questions just as a shot in the dark. I don't know, maybe he'll know something or whatever. And you always have something I know this much about it. And it's always pretty. I'm always surprised to see how much. How much do you actually you yourself? How much do you look into these songs? Where do you find out the backstory?
Well, especially for the first and second movies, I like to keep track of where all the artists are now. Not too many interesting stories from To Be a Master.
Okay.
Other than Vicky Sue Robinson, because she has the one with the most past history.
That's funny. I think I'm going to look up some of these guys and see what they're doing, and see if they've made anything else.
To Be a Master. Where are they now?
Yeah. That'd be good. I want to see.
I thought about doing that with the first movie. There's some interesting stories there. My favorite personal one is the song Lullaby from the first movie soundtrack by Manda, I can never tell. She is not known by that anymore. I've mentioned on my live show that I do every so often is that she's actually now known as Willa Ford, Bad Girl of Pop. You may have seen her on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, yes.
So, some of these people they pick up for this, you have to remember, are not diehard Pokemon people. They have regular music careers, if that can be called a regular career. And if you listen to my interview, for example, from earlier this year on YouTube of Kirsten Price, who sings the I'll Always Remember You from the Darkrai movie and the TV version of We Will Be Heroes for the 11th season, this is basically one stop in their long musical journey for most of them. They're not... there are some repeat artists within Pokemon that show up several times, but for a lot of these people, they have other stories and they have a career outside of Pokemon, and it's interesting to see how those people came to be and how they came here and what they've done since.
Awesome.
Keep listening for more from this interview. Hi folks, Steven here with a brief note about the Garchomp cosplay video we posted last week. After the video was uploaded, Ross was able to get me some photos of the making of the costume, which I've included in the blog post for that interview. If you want to see those, check out the second card on this video. Thanks.